Justice.
You sound like a fool.
That's your opinion.
No, my opinion's the only one that counts.
As you get older, you realize that there are very few really important things.
Judge Judy Sheindlin was making $47 million per year and commanding audiences of 10 million viewers daily when she suddenly announced the end of her iconic show after 25 years. But here's what shocked the entertainment industry. This wasn't retirement, it was revenge. What happened behind the scenes involves billion-dollar lawsuits, corporate betrayal, and a calculated move that would reshape the entire courtroom television landscape forever. Where is Judge Judy now? She didn't just walk into the courtroom, she commanded it with a gavel in one hand and the truth in the other. For over 2 decades, Judge Judy wasn't just a TV show. She was the show, the face of courtroom television. She became synonymous with justice, truth, and above all, authority. But how did a sharp-tongued family court judge from New York City, known for her no-nonsense approach, become a household name and an undisputed pop culture icon? If you love diving into the lives and stories of Hollywood's biggest stars, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video from Urban Spill. We want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell us who your favorite actor or actress is. We just might create a deep dive video about them next. Your next favorite video is just a click away. It wasn't by accident. It all started in the early 90s when a small feature on CBS's 60 Minutes introduced America to Judy Sheindlin, a judge who wasn't afraid to tell it like it is. She wasn't playing for ratings, she was playing for justice. At the time, Sheindlin had already spent years as a family court judge in New York. Her reputation? Tough, relentless, uncompromising. She believed in swift justice, cutting through the legal jargon and getting straight to the heart of the issue. No room for excuses. When 60 Minutes aired a segment showcasing her straightforward, no-nonsense approach to family law, it was a revelation. Viewers saw a woman who didn't just speak her mind, she demanded respect, and the world was captivated. That segment was the spark that ignited a nationwide phenomenon. But this wasn't just a TV moment. It was the TV moment, because that appearance led to something much bigger, a court show where Judy Sheindlin wasn't just a judge, but the queen of the court ring. In 1996, Judge Judy premiered, and from day one, it was clear this was going to be different. There was no eye drama or excessive flair. There were no long-winded speeches or drawn-out legalese. There was only Judy. She didn't need to be flashy. She didn't need fancy sets or scripted drama. She needed one thing: truth. And that was exactly what she brought to every case. Her tagline was simple: "Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining." Sharp, bold, unforgiving. But that wasn't just a line. It was her entire philosophy. No excuses, no lies, just the facts. It didn't take long for audiences to catch on. They weren't just watching a court show. They were watching a force of nature who had the power to make right what was wrong, without hesitation or fear. And it wasn't just the cases that fascinated people. It was her style, her presence, her refusal to tolerate nonsense. With a commanding presence that could melt even the toughest litigants, Judy's show became an instant success. Judge Judy quickly outpaced every other courtroom show, shattering records and creating a new genre of daytime television. This wasn't just entertainment. It was a revolution in the way justice was presented to the public. By the time the show was in full swing, millions of Americans were tuning in daily. Some just wanted to hear her snap at the defendants. Others came to see her dish out one-liners. But everyone stayed for the same thing: the unmistakable power of her rulings. And it wasn't just the ratings that spoke volumes. Judy Sheindlin became a cultural icon. Her influence spread far beyond the courtroom. She was quoted in political speeches, referenced in sitcoms, and even earned parodies in the best comedic skits. There was no denying it. Judge Judy wasn't just the most popular courtroom show, it was one of the most popular shows in TV history. People trusted her more than the highest judges in the land. She was more than a TV personality. She was the voice of reason in an often chaotic world. A judge who made quick, decisive calls and wasn't afraid to call out injustice, no matter who it came from. But there was something that made Judy stand out from the rest. Her no-compromise attitude. She didn't just play by the rules. She played by her rules. And even though she faced her fair share of critics, from those who didn't like her sharp delivery to people who questioned her approach, there was no denying the fact that Judge Judy was a TV powerhouse. But success in the courtroom wasn't enough. Judy Sheindlin didn't just want to be a TV judge. She wanted to change the game, reshape the entire genre of courtroom TV. And she did. She knew what the audience wanted. They wanted fast justice. They wanted truth. They wanted fairness without the theatrics. They didn't want to wait weeks for a verdict. They wanted it now, and Judge Judy delivered that in spades. By the end of its run, Judge Judy wasn't just a show. It was a legacy. Judy Sheindlin had created a courtroom revolution, blending entertainment with real-world justice and setting a new standard for everything that came after. But, as with all great success stories, there's more to the story. What happened next would change the world of television once again. And this time, it wasn't just the viewers who were watching closely. So where is Judge Judy now? That journey, my friends, is far from over. Before she was America's courtroom queen, before the cameras, the catchphrases, the millions of viewers, there was simply Judy Sheindlin, a woman navigating a man's world with unmatched fire. Born Judith Susan Blum in Brooklyn, New York, Judy wasn't raised with silver spoons or spotlight dreams. She was raised with discipline, intellect, and grit, values instilled by her hardworking parents, especially her father, a dentist who told her, "Don't be afraid to speak up," and she never was. After earning her law degree from New York Law School in 1965, one of only a few women in her class, Judy entered a field where women were seen but rarely heard. But she didn't just enter, she disrupted. Her first job was in corporate law. The suits were polished, the paychecks were decent, but the work? Soul-crushing. Judy knew she didn't belong behind a desk reviewing contracts. She belonged where the stakes were raw, real, human. So in 1972, she pivoted. She became a prosecutor in New York City's family court system. And that decision would change everything. Inside those family courtrooms, she saw society's most painful truths: abuse, neglect, broken homes, and shattered children. But Judy didn't flinch. She fought for justice, for accountability, for order. And word of her unflinching style began to spread. Fast. She wasn't afraid to speak the truth to parents, attorneys, or even other judges. Her sharp tongue wasn't for theatrics. It was for cutting through excuses. In 1982, New York City took notice. Judy Sheindlin was appointed a criminal court judge. Just 4 years later, she shattered another ceiling, becoming the supervising judge of Manhattan Family Court. She was in charge, and under her leadership, the court didn't just function. It ran like a machine. She implemented faster docket processing, demanded real preparation from lawyers, and made sure justice was swift. Not cruel, but clear. Not emotional, but effective. Colleagues respected her. Defendants feared her. The press started whispering. She was changing the game. By the early 90s, her courtroom had become the courtroom. And a 60 Minutes producer happened to walk in. What they saw was explosive. The law had long been a man's arena. Judy Sheindlin didn't just break in. She set the place on fire and rebuilt it on her terms. And when that TV offer came knocking, she didn't hesitate. But don't be mistaken, Judge Judy, the TV icon, didn't emerge overnight. She was forged through decades of real trials, real trauma, and real justice. So what happened when this iron-willed judge met Hollywood? The year was 1996. The O.J. Simpson trial had just changed how Americans saw the courtroom. And then came Judge Judy, a new kind of justice. Not in a wood-paneled courthouse, but on national television. It all started after Judy Sheindlin published her first book, Don't Pee on My Leg and Tell Me It's Raining. Bold title, right? Well, it matched her personality. Direct, no nonsense, and completely unfiltered. That book caught the attention of TV producers. They had one thought. This woman doesn't just practice justice, she performs it. So they offered her a TD deal. No script, no teleprompter. Just Judy, a gavel, and a courtroom set. From the first episode, Judge Judy was electric. Her voice, sharp. Her stare, lethal. Her one-liners, legendary. Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. If you want the court's sympathy, look in the dictionary between slim and syphilis. Millions watched, laughed, and sometimes winced. But they kept coming back. Why? Because behind the sass was substance. Judy didn't just embarrass liars. She exposed truths. She reminded people that actions have consequences. And in a world growing numb to accountability, that felt refreshing. By the early 2000s, Judge Judy was drawing 9 to 10 million viewers a day. She wasn't just popular. She was the queen of daytime television. Bigger than Oprah in some markets. More trusted than politicians. More feared than your high school principal. And the money? Oh, the money. By 2005, she was earning $15 million a year. By 2010, $45 million. At her peak, $47 million per year. For just a few days of filming each month, she became the highest paid person on television. But even with the wealth and fame, she never softened. No matter who sat in front of her, a weeping teen mom, a smooth-talking scammer, or an entitled landlord, Judy brought the same steel. This is my courtroom, not a therapist's office. Get to the point. Yet behind the scenes, Judy wasn't just ruling a fake courtroom. She was building an empire. She hired smart, negotiated fiercely, owned the rights to her episodes, a brilliant move that later made her $100 million when she sold them back to CBS. She wasn't just a judge. She was a mogul in robes. But even empires evolve. And in 2021, Judge Judy stunned fans with a major decision. She was walking away. After 25 years, over 6,000 episodes, and hundreds of millions of dollars later. So what made her leave it all behind? And where did she go? But Judge Judy wasn't alone in that courtroom. Standing just a few feet away, day after day, year after year, was a man whose silent presence became just as iconic as her fiery voice. Petrie Hawkins Bird, known simply as Bird. He was more than just a bailiff. He was her right hand, her courtroom partner, and the only person who could match her no-nonsense energy with a calm, collected demeanor. Bird and Judge Judy shared something rare on television. Real history. The two first met long before the cameras ever rolled, back when Judy Sheindlin was a supervising judge in Manhattan Family Court, and Bird was a courtroom officer. Their chemistry was instant. When Judge Judy was greenlit for television, she didn't think twice. She called Bird personally and asked him to join the show. He said yes, and the rest was history. Together, they became a dynamic duo. Judy delivered her signature sharp verdicts, while Bird maintained order with just a glance. Their banter was subtle but golden. Fans loved the way he raised an eyebrow or threw in a sly comment. And Judy? She trusted him completely. You could see it. They weren't acting. It was real. Over 25 seasons, Bird stood beside her through thousands of cases. Through it all, he stayed professional, poised, and loyal. But when Judy transitioned to her new show, Judy Justice, in 2021, something unexpected happened. Bird wasn't invited. No call, no explanation, just silence. For millions of viewers, this felt like betrayal. How could Judy move on without the man who'd been by her side for decades? Bird later revealed in interviews that he was hurt, blindsided even, by her decision. He'd been with her for 25 years, and suddenly he was no longer part of the picture. Judy, when asked, simply said the new show needed a fresh energy, a new generation. The decision sparked controversy. Fans voiced their anger. Others tried to understand. Was it business? Was it personal? The truth remains murky. What we do know is this: television partnerships rarely last this long. And when they do, they leave a legacy that's hard to forget. Bird and Judy may have gone their separate ways, but their on-screen bond remains etched in courtroom television history. What happens when a woman with unmatched intelligence, fearless honesty? She doesn't just make waves, she creates a tsunami. That's exactly what Judge Judy did. The Judge Judy show wasn't just successful, it was a force of nature. Week after week, year after year, it pulled in an audience of 9 to 10 million viewers daily. Let that number settle for a moment. In a world of ever-changing content, Judge Judy maintained decades of dominance. No gimmicks, no drama behind the scenes, just one woman, a bench, and two men. And a truth she demanded from everyone who entered her courtroom. The awards? They followed naturally. She racked up multiple Daytime Emmy Awards, not as a one-time fluke, but as confirmation of her unmatched consistency. Her show wasn't just surviving in the world of daytime television, it was leading it. Viewers didn't just admire her, they respected her, feared her, and trusted her judgment. And the industry took note. She was recognized in a truly historic way when she earned a Guinness World Record for being the longest-serving judge in courtroom television history. That's more than just a title. It's an acknowledgement of her impact on American culture. But even more jaw-dropping than the viewership and awards was the money. Judge Judy wasn't just a judge. She was a media titan with shrewd negotiation skills and a deep understanding of her value. She landed one of the highest salaries in television history, a staggering $45 million per year. Imagine that, nearly $1 million per week. Not for acting, not for singing, but for being herself, unfiltered, unafraid, and unapologetically real. And her financial power didn't stop there. She appeared on Forbes' list of the richest women in entertainment, rubbing shoulders with music icons, movie stars, and media empires. She stood as proof that authenticity and confidence could be more valuable than any scripted performance. But here's what makes it truly inspiring. Judy Sheindlin didn't just chase fame or fortune. She earned it through years of hard work, unshakable principles, and a refusal to be underestimated. She turned her name into a brand, her brand into an empire, and her empire into a legacy. In the process, she shattered ceilings, not quietly, but with the sound of a gavel hitting wood and a voice that said, "Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining." That's not just courtroom television. That's legendary. And the story? It was far from over. Even empires, no matter how powerful, face storms. And for Judge Judy, the courtroom drama didn't always stay confined to her TV show. Behind the polished wood of the set, behind the sharp wit and decisive rulings, another battle was brewing. One that played out in real-life courtrooms. Despite her overwhelming success, Judge Judy found herself at the center of numerous lawsuits. These weren't trivial disputes. They involved millions of dollars and deep disagreements about who really owned the gold mine that was Judge Judy. At the heart of the legal conflict was Rebel Entertainment Partners, a company that once played a role in the show's early distribution. They claimed they were owed a share of the profits, including royalties from reruns and spin-offs, and they weren't shy about their demands. They took Judy, one of the toughest legal minds on television, to court. Imagine that for a moment. Trying to outmaneuver Judge Judy in a legal battle. You'd have to be brave or foolish. The lawsuits stretched over years, filled with complicated contracts, power moves, and claims of betrayal. It was messy, expensive, and public. And Judy? She didn't back down, ever. She fought back with the same fire that made her famous, with precision, with legal savvy, and with absolutely no patience for nonsense. In one dramatic moment, she even bought the rights to her own old episodes, all 5,200 of them, for $95 million just to keep full control and end any financial debate over royalties. She wanted freedom. She wanted final say, and she got it. In the end, Judy won most of those battles, proving once again that she was more than a TV judge. She was a real force in the entertainment industry. She reminded the world that she didn't just play tough, she was tough. What's extraordinary is how she handled it all. No tears, no drama, no distractions. Just focus, facts, and that unshakable Judy Sheindlin attitude. Because when you come for the queen, you better be ready to lose. And just like that, the courtroom queen defended her throne, in front of the cameras and behind closed legal doors. Unmatched, undeterred, unforgettable. The story was still evolving, and Judy, she was already planning her next move. In 2011, at the peak of her career, when millions were tuning in daily to witness her no-nonsense style of justice, Judy Sheindlin faced an unexpected and frightening moment. A moment that could have changed everything. One day on the set of Judge Judy, during the flow of filming, Judy suddenly lost consciousness. The cameras kept rolling, but for her, everything went black. She had suffered a mini stroke. A mini stroke. A warning sign. A signal from the body that something needed to change. For most people, this would have meant slowing down, stepping back, maybe even considering retirement. It was a moment when the world expected Judy to take a pause, to reconsider the intense pace of her life. But Judy Sheindlin was no ordinary person. Instead of retreating, she doubled down. With that characteristic grit, she showed the world what true resilience looks like. She returned to work, refusing to let fear or fatigue take control. She extended her contract with the show multiple T, proving that no hell scare could stop her from doing what she loved. Judy's strength wasn't just physical. It was mental and emotional. She understood that her audience counted on her, that her show had become more than entertainment. It was a daily dose of justice served with honesty and sharp insight. And she wasn't content to rest on her laurels. In 2014, she launched a bold new venture, Hot Bench. Unlike Judge Judy, which featured one judge making decisions, Hot Bench brought something fresh and innovative to courtroom television. 3 judges deliberating cases together. This dynamic panel would hear arguments, discuss the merits of each case, and then reach a verdict as a team. It was groundbreaking, fresh, and it quickly captured the attention of viewers and critics alike. The show's success proved Judy's keen sense for what audiences wanted. More depth, more perspective, and more justice delivered in new ways. But with this new chapter came fresh challenges. Hot Bench introduced additional complexity to the ongoing legal disputes surrounding Judy's empire. Rebel Entertainment and other parties still claimed rights and royalties, arguing over profits, ownership, and contracts tied to the original Judge Judy show and its spin-offs. These lawsuits dragged on, intertwining Judy's personal, creative, and financial life in a complicated web of legal battles. Yet through all this, Judy remained unfazed. She had been in courtrooms all her life, both as a judge and now as a defendant. She knew the weight of the law, and she fought to protect what she had built. Her fierce independence and sharp mind allowed her to navigate these complicated waters with grace and strength. By 2017, Judy's influence and presence in daytime television were stronger than ever. She had overcome serious health issues and legal turmoil, continuing to expand her legacy with new shows and new ideas. Her story was not just one of fame and fortune. It was one of perseverance. A story of a woman who refused to be defined by obstacles, who kept moving forward no matter the challenges. For Judy Sheindlin, the mini-stroke was not an end. It was a turning point, a testament to her resilience, and a reminder that her reign as television's toughest judge was far from over. The world watched as she defied expectations, proving time and again that Judge Judy was not just a TV personality. She was a force of nature, unstoppable and relentless. And with Hot Bench and other ventures, she showed that her fight for justice, both on screen and off, was just beginning. After 25 groundbreaking seasons, in 2020, Judy Sheindlin made an announcement that surprised many. Judge Judy was coming to an end. The show that had dominated daytime television for a quarter of a century was concluding its incredible run. For over 2 decades, Judy had been a fixture in millions of living rooms, delivering swift justice with her trademark wit and no-nonsense style. Her courtroom was a stage where truth was unmasked and fairness was served without delay. Fans had grown up with her. Some even joked that she was part of their family. But times were changing, audiences were evolving, and television was transforming. Streaming, social media, and fresh voices were reshaping how people consumed content. Judy understood this. Ending Judge Judy wasn't a retirement. It was a strategic move. With the same sharp mind that built her empire, she launched a brand new project, Judy Justice. This new courtroom show was more than just a sequel. It was a fresh take for a new generation, designed to connect with younger viewers. Judy Justice embraced the modern approach. It featured updated production, new faces on the bench, and stories that reflected today's diverse and dynamic society. Judy wanted to prove she could still deliver justice in a way that resonated with younger audiences, those who grew up watching her, but now demanded something different, something relevant. The transition wasn't just about changing cameras or sets. It was about evolving a legacy while staying true to the essence of what made Judge Judy iconic: honesty, intelligence, and a fierce commitment to fairness. Judy Justice marked a bold, new chapter, a promise that even as the original show closed its doors, the spirit of Judge Judy was far from finished. It was a new era, a new courtroom, and a renewed fight for justice, all with Judy Sheindlin leading the charge. One of the most emotional and controversial chapters in Judge Judy's legendary career unfolded during her transition to the new show, Judy Justice. For over 20 years, Petrie Hawkins Purd was much more than just a bailiff. He was a steadfast presence, a calm anchor amid the storm of courtroom chaos. His measured voice calling out order in the court became as iconic as Judy's no-nonsense rulings. Fans adored their dynamic, the perfect balance of Judy's sharp, sometimes fiery judgments and Bird's steady, quietly authoritative demeanor. So when news broke that Bird would not be returning for Judy Justice, it sent shockwaves through the fanbase. People were shocked, saddened, even outraged. How could Judge Judy replace someone so integral to her show's identity? Why would she part ways with a partner of decades? Judy addressed the backlash with honesty. She explained that the decision boiled down to pragmatic business reasons and a desire to refresh the show for a younger generation. Judy wanted Judy Justice to feel new and relevant in a rapidly changing media landscape. appealing to viewers who grew up with different expectations for television. Cost also played a significant role. Petrie Hawkins Bird's salary demands reportedly did not fit within the budget set for the new show. The realities of television production meant difficult choices had to be made, even if it meant saying goodbye to a beloved figure. For many fans, this felt like a painful loss. They saw Bird not just as a colleague, but as a symbol of continuity and loyalty. His absence was a reminder that even the most iconic partnerships aren't immune to change. The situation sparked debates across social media and fan forums. Some applauded Judy's forward-thinking approach, while others criticized her for what felt like a cold business decision. But Judy's story is never just black and white. In a gesture that surprised many, she took steps to make amends. Recognizing the depth of feelings surrounding Bird, Judy gave him a new role, not just a cameo, but a starring position, in a fresh spin-off called Tribunal Justice. This move was significant. It wasn't just a consolation prize, it was an acknowledgement of Bird's enormous contribution to her success. Bird was finally given the spotlight, leading a new courtroom series where he could shine on his own terms. This decision helped heal some wounds. It allowed longtime fans to reconnect with a familiar and beloved figure. And it showed Judy's capacity to balance change with respect and gratitude. The bailiff controversy became more than Judy Sheindlin, ever the sharp-minded judge, managed to navigate this challenge with a blend of pragmatism and grace. Her legacy wasn't diminished by the controversy. If anything, it deepened. She demonstrated that even legends face tough choices, but also that they can find ways to honor the past while embracing the future. And through it all, one truth remained clear. Judge Judy's world is vast, filled with new shows, new faces, and new stories. But it's also rooted in the relationships and moments that built her empire. The quest for justice marches on, evolving but never forgetting where it came from. And Petrie Hawkins Bird, he remains a cherished part of that journey, proving that in the story of Judge Judy, every player has their place, and every legacy continues. As we arrive in 2025, Judy Sheindlin continues to defy expectations and rewrite the rules of courtroom entertainment. Far from retiring, Judy is as active and influential as ever, leading her flagship show, Judy Justice, with the same ironclad resolve and sharp wit that first made her a cultural phenomenon. Her courtroom brand has not only survived, but thrived, evolving with the times to reflect the changing tastes and values of a modern audience. She has embraced new technologies, storytelling formats, and a younger, more diverse cast, all while maintaining the core of what made her show a must-watch for millions. Unfiltered truth, quick justice, and a personality that commands respect. In a world flooded with reality TV and courtroom dramas, Judy stands out as an authentic force. She is a symbol of integrity and no-nonsense justice, a figure who reminds us that the law is not just about rules and paperwork, but about people's lives, their stories, and the real pursuit of fairness. Beyond Judy Justice, Judy Sheindlin's influence extends across the entertainment industry. She has inspired countless new courtroom programs, and her style has become a blueprint for legal-themed shows worldwide. Her impact on pop culture is undeniable, with references to Judge Judy appearing in movies, music, and everyday conversations. A testament to how deeply she has ingrained herself into the fabric of society. But what truly sets Judy apart is her relentless passion and commitment. At an age when many consider slowing down, she continues to innovate, taking bold risks and expanding her brand into new ventures. She's shown that success isn't just about longevity. It's about constantly evolving and staying relevant. Her story, from a corporate lawyer who sought fulfillment, to a trailblazing family court judge, to a television icon and media mogul is nothing short of inspiring. It reminds us all that reinvention is possible at any stage of life, and that courage and tenacity can carve a path to greatness. Looking ahead, Judy's journey is far from over. She is already planning new projects, exploring fresh ideas, and continuing to captivate audiences with her trademark blend of toughness and wisdom. So, what does the future hold for Judge Judy? If history is any indication, it will be filled with more groundbreaking courtroom moments, more cultural impact, and more justice served, with Judy leading the way. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into the incredible life and legacy of Judy Sheindlin, don't miss out on what comes next. Make sure to follow Judy Justice and keep an eye on her upcoming projects. This is one legacy you'll want to watch unfold in real time. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video insightful and engaging, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating stories about your favorite TV icons. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. We'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think about Judy Sheindlin's evolution over the years? How do you feel about her transition from Judge Judy to Judy Justice? Drop your comments below and join the conversation. Justice never takes a break, and with Judy Sheindlin at the helm, the courtroom drama is far from over. Stay tuned, because this remarkable story is just getting started.